And skating tonight for the Vaudeville Vixes, in pink and brown, we have number 10, A Magnitude. Number 5150, Berserkly. Daisy Juke, 01. Number 32, Dalek Doll. Chapter 51, Harley Sin. But don't let me forget, number 49, Donna Stunner. Number 22, Happy Go Lucky. Number 117, Jean du Snark. 1967, Jocelyn Hell Burnell. Number 9, Kenna Vendetta. Number 30, Lemon Dropkick. 406, Montana Slamma. Number 66, Mustang. Number 45, Nefarious. 1975, Neon Arzik. High five for Shantastic McAwesome. 160, Smartash. 750, Whiskey and Choke. And number 11, Zoe Dash in Hell. On the bench for the Vixens, we have Two Stroke, Flute Loop, Betty Davis Thighs. She's got Betty Davis thighs. And we've got True Blood. Also skating for the Vixens tonight, you may remember them from last year, Tipsy Velvet and Darling Nikki. They're back as free agents skating on the Vaudeville Vixens tonight.
Mustang skating too.
Yep.
All right, and we'll get to introducing their opponents tonight. The 2015 Reservoir Dolls. First off, we have number 27 centimeters, Blitz Siren. Up. John. Stop. They're doing it. Up.
All right, time out.
There we go.
Let's reset.
Can
and here we go for the Reservoir Doll.
All right, number 27 is Blitz Siren. Next up is P1MP Busta Crimes. Number W01F College Wild. Number 33 is Charlie Hustle. Number 18, Full Frontal Judity. Number 366 is Jean Lane. Number 565, Glockness. Number 30-year, Hopscotch. Number 1213 is Knocking Jay. Number 31, Lady Hoo-Ha. Number K155 is Lip Smacker. Number 4 is Mouse. Number 1776, Rebel with a Cause. Number 8, Sasspot. Number 9mm is Shenanigans. At 10-inch, it's Sproutin' a Tail. Number 77 is Stank Girl, the Stench Wench. Number 50 is The Heat. Number 54 is Violet Fire. And last but not least, number 6 is Wipeout Scout. They are all supported on the bench by Clara Path, Dutch Oven, and Pretty Reckless. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2015 Reservoir Dolls!
All right, folks, we've also got some skating officials tonight. For the officials, Z-Dork, Uno Mas, Bjorn, Eddie, Johnny Zebra, Irma, Howie Swerve, Chaotic Neutral. We also have non-skating officials, Thaco, Modus Pons, Mr. Welch, Shonuff, Brazel, Jezebel, Freda, Diaphragm, Keister Bunny, Squeaky, Reaver, Roadblock, Misinformed, Macromaniac. Thank you to all our officials this evening. Let's hear it for the officials, folks.
All right. We're about ready to get underway here, but before we begin, we'd like you to please rise and remove your headgear. And we will have our national anthem played and sung by Julia McConaughey from Shishi.
Thank you to Julie McConaughey of Shishi. Shishi recently appeared on the cover of Maximum Ink magazine and just have a new album out called Textbook Delusional. We're going to line up and get started right away, folks.
Yeah, looks like our first jammers for the evening are going to be Mouse for the Reservoir Dolls and Dalek Doll up for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And the whistle begins. Both jammers trying to fight through the pack. Mouse up at the front. It looks like Mouse is your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls, but Dalek Doll is right behind her.
Yeah, right behind her and getting a little rough right outside of the pack there. Looks like she's not going to let up.
That pack is going pretty fast too, folks. They're skating almost half the jammer speed rather than slowing it down to pack speed. That means the jammers are going to just have to skate a little faster and harder to get around and score some points. Mouse calls off the jam. Yep. Those jammers, they call off the jam by putting their hands on their hips. They do so after they score the number of points that they want, and they've been assigned the lead jammer status. So that first time through the pack, you're not going to see any points go on the board. That's just to determine who is the lead jammer. and which team gets the opportunity to call the jam off.
Yep, any passes done after that initial pass are called the scoring pass. So you'll notice on that last jam, Mouse passed 2 opposing skaters, getting her 2 points.
And we've got the next jam off. Harley Sin jamming for the Vixens up against Scout, Wipeout Scout of the Reservoir Dolls. Harley still trying to push her way through the pack.
It looks like Scout is making lead jam and getting through that pack pretty easily. Just weaving her way in and out. Picked up another 4 points on that pass. Harleyson is on her initial pass, so will not yet be scoring points. But now as she's entering the pack, she will begin scoring points for every set of opposing hips she passes.
Wipeout Scout through the pack again, this time scoring, I believe, 4 points. Maybe a grand slam? Nope, it looks like just 4 points for the opposing blockers that she passed.
Yep, Harleyson also picking up 4 points on her pass.
Harley getting 1 pass in there. It looks like Wipeout Scout got 3 scoring passes. Bringing the Resdoll total up to 11 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 4. Up on the line, we've got 9mm. It looks like Shenanigans jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She's going up against 1967, Jocelyn Hell Burnell, jamming for the Vixens.
All right, whistle blows. Action begins. A lot of jostling around happening in the pack. Both jammers fighting against opposing blockers, trying to get through. Well, it looks like Shenanigans is getting through first, taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Jocelyn Hell Burnell up against a wall of Reservoir Dolls, knocking her to the inside, to the outside.
Yep, they are doing a great job of keeping her back. In the meantime, Shenanigans did sneak in around the outside, making another 5 points. That is a Mini of Madison Grand Slam. That means whenever the jammer takes passes all 5 opposing skaters, they get 5 points, and that is called a Grand Slam.
While she's getting her Grand Slam, it looks like the Vixen jammer, Jocelyn Hell Burnell, is sent to the penalty box for a cut. She'll have to sit in the penalty box for 30 seconds while Shenanigans has the track. She's got the whole track, and she's the only one scoring points.
Yep, and when there's only one jammer on the track, we call that a power jam.
She's got a power jam, and it looks like she has passed the star to Blitz Siren of the Reservoir Dolls. The pivot, or the one with the actual stripe on her helmet, is the only player in the pack that a jammer can pass that star to. Shenanigans took advantage and passed it off to Blitz Siren, who got through the pack, scoring 4 points. Ooh, nice knockdown there. But Jocelyn Hell Burnell is up and out of the pack, or out of the box, and through the pack.
It's like Glock Ness had taken a quick trip to the penalty box, the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box for a low block.
And that jam ends. Reservoir Dolls bringing it up to 21, maybe 24 points. We'll get the final score in just a moment. 25 points for the Reservoir Dolls, 6 for the Vaudeville Vixens. We would like to give a shout out to tonight's bout charity. Tonight's bout charity is Reach a Child, and Reach a Child's mission is to assist first responders as they encounter children in crisis. So there is a booth where you walked in. We've also got Booty Collins in a Quad Squad uniform right over here on the side of the... She'll be walking around selling some raffle tickets. 50-50 raffle, get in there, support Reach a Child.
Getting back to the action here, looks like Charlie Hustle is jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, and she is currently the lead jammer.
Nefarious, jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens, jumps the apex a little bit there, just right behind her. Passing on the outside, Charlie gets by all the Vixens, getting 4 points. It looks like Nefarious is almost through, but she is taken down. One of the Reservoir Dolls fell on the track. That's looks to be like KJ knocking Jay, going to the box. Knocking Jay in the box for a low block. Meanwhile, Nefarious and Charlie Hustle jamming for their teams. Nefarious stuck in the pack, being knocked to the back by the Reservoir Dolls. Glockness taking her to the inside and making her recycle to behind her.
Charlie Hustle had been making her way through the pack pretty quickly before, but now she's run into quite a bit of resistance with the Vaudeville Vixens, rather. Tipsy Velvet there doing some good work to keep her back. In fact, going to cause her to call off the jam. Not a bad call. If she can't make any progress,
call it off. Can't make any more points. Charlie calls off the jam once behind a train of Vixens there. And it looks like Hopscotch will be on the line with the star jamming for the Reservoir Dolls.
It looks like then we have Dalek Doll up jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. You saw everybody lined up there on the Plan B jammer line. And with the whistle we begin. Dalek Doll sneaking around on the inside, takes lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lead jam for the Vixens.
And it looks like Hopscotch has just gotten through the pack. Getting ready to make her scoring pass, but Dalek Doll sneaking through the pack again, picking up another 4 points for the Vixens.
Hopscotch up in the pack. She gets knocked down by a Vixen wall there as Dalek Doll gets around the track and goes through the pack for another 5 points. That's a Minnie Madison grand slam for Dalek Doll and the Vixens.
Yep, Dalek Doll calling off that jam before the Res Dolls can score too many more points on their pass.
And I've got a couple shout-outs here. Folks, if we didn't mention it before, if you'd like to support Reach a Child by heading on over to the merchandise table while you shop for some great MRD merchandise, you can put $1 in the shout-out box, write a little message to somebody in the crowd, and we'll read that message over the microphone for you. Those proceeds will go to our Bout charity tonight, Reach a Child.
Getting back to the action here, we have Harley Sin jamming for the Vixens, and it
looks like the referees just called Harley Sin the lead jammer. She is up against Hopscotch again of the Reservoir Dolls. Looks like Hopscotch is in the penalty box. Reservoir Dolls down to 3 blockers. They've also got a blocker in the penalty box. Harley Sin trying to fight her way past Lip Smacker, Bust of Crimes, and Shenanigans. I do have a shout out, in fact, from Shenanigans to the Vixens. Go Vixens! Love Shenanigans. She may be showing the Vixens a little bit of love out there. Bust of Crimes from the Reservoir Dolls goes to the penalty box. The Monkey Bar Gym penalty box, just as Call It a Wild comes out of the penalty box. Busta will be joined there by Shenanigans for a multiplayer block.
It does look like there has been a WORT star pass. We now have Shantastic McAwesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. Sneaking through there real quick, picking up another 3 points for her team.
She is right on Hopscotch, jamming for the Res Dolls. Both jammers coming into the pack right at the same time. Reservoir Doll wall fighting Shenanigans, not allowing her to get through. Vixen wall up against Hopscotch. And both jammers through the pack, each with another 4 points. It looks like Shenanigans did get a Minnie Madison grand slam there for 5 points. That brings the Reservoir Dolls up to 46 points. The Vaudeville Vixens at 30.
That's still a very close bout. So a lot of back and forth going on so far. I'm seeing a lot of good plays from both teams so far. And so let's see a lining up here on the Plan B Jammer line. Looks like we have Mouse up for the Reservoir Dolls, and Jocelyn Hell-Burnell is up for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Both jammers changed their position on the jammer line, trying to fight through. Mouse is out of the pack, and she's your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. Jocelyn Hell-Burnell getting out of the pack, not your lead jammer. Just as Mouse gets around back to the pack and through for 4 points. She calls off that jam.
And it looks like she called off that jam just before Jocelyn Hell-Burnell could make any points on her scoring pass. So good call on Mouse's part. That does bring our score to Reservoir Dolls 50, Vaudeville Vixens 30.
Up on the jammer line, we've got Wipeout Scout for the Reservoir Dolls, jamming against Kenna Vendetta for the Vaudeville Vixens. And they're off. Wipeout Scout finding a little hole on the inside line. She's through, and she is your lead jammer.
Yeah, it looks like Kenna Vendetta still fighting against the Res Dolls pack. Saw her getting a little up close and personal with Busta Crimes there.
Roller derby is an up close and personal sport. A lot of hard-hitting action. You get personal. These girls, they like to get personal. Oh, as the Reservoir Dolls hold back Kenna Vendetta. Wipeout Scout up and around the outside of the pack for a Minia Madison grand slam. Another 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like the Heat is taking a 30-second trip to the penalty box.
Only 2 blockers out there for the Reservoir Dolls, but it looks like the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. Is passing the star. She passes the star to Jean Du Snark. Jean Du Snark up against Wipeout Scout. Staying close behind. Scout knocking Jean Du Snark. Snark and Scout out there fighting it out. Knocking her to the outside. Snark comes right back in, fights her way up to the front. She's held up by Sasspot, it looks like, and who is that? Yep, Lip Smacker trying to pull her back.
Looks like John DeSnark is heading to the penalty box, and that was a track cut penalty. So it looks like she cut outside of the track and then came back in front of another skater. And let's see, looks like Wipeout Scout going to the box for a forearm penalty. In the midst of all the penalties,
the jam expires. So the jam is either called off by the lead jammer calling the jam off, indicated by her hands on her hips, or 2 minutes expiring, and then the jam is over. When both jammers are in the box, that jam is just called off when 2 minutes expire. Because both jammers are in the box, this gets a little confusing with the rules, folks, so I'll explain it a little bit to you. The first jammer that heads to the penalty box will sit down as much time as elapses when she's sitting in the penalty box until that second jammer is called to the penalty box, is how much time the second jammer has to serve. So it took me longer to explain that than it did for them to actually serve their penalty. They're both out of the box and back on the track, trying to score points for their team. Wipeout Scout is your lead jammer this jam. She got through the pack legally and first.
Yep. Looks like Blitz Siren's been sent to the penalty box. Have quite a few trips to the penalty box already in this bout. Wipeout Scout battling against A Magnitude, but A-Mag getting a little too far from the pack, ordered to no longer get into contact with the jammer, so she has to let her go.
A Magnitude called for an out-of-pack penalty. She'll be heading to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box, and the jam is called. Wipeout Scout bringing the Reservoir Dolls score to 79 points. Vaudeville Vixens are at 33.
This time we'd like to bring your attention to a little bit of a raffle kind of contest that we're going to be having today. The first of which we have 4 packs of giveaway goodies for each team that we're going to be giving away at the half. So, and those are all going to be done by raffling off your ticket numbers. So please make sure you have your tickets. Take a look at those. We'll be announcing those numbers towards the end of this first half for a chance to win some team swag.
Sounds great. And that's just free of charge raffle using your ticket stubs. The other raffle you can buy tickets for is going to support our About Charity tonight, Reach a Child. Look for skaters selling raffle tickets. Head on over to the Reach a Child booth. Get a raffle ticket. It's a 50-50 raffle. You win half of the proceeds.
Jumping back to the action here, we have Charlie Hustle taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. She's just picked up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam, getting 5 points for her team. Looks like the jammer for the Vixens is Nefarious, still working her way through the pack there. Getting knocked out of bounds, looks like by Jean Lane. Or maybe it was just coincidence.
Having to fight past a tough blocking crew there with the Reservoir Dolls. Charlie Hustle having to do the same. Vaudeville Vixens. On the line, it looks like we've got an official review called by Brown or the Vaudeville Vixens. So the Vixens are calling an official timeout. This is a triple M 2-minute promise timeout. Actually, rather an official review, which uses up a team timeout. So I apologize, that's not an official timeout. The team, the Vixens, have decided to challenge or review something in the last jam. Most likely, they let the referees know what that's going to be. And if they win the review, similar to other sports, they keep their timeout. If they lose the review and the call stands.
The Vaudeville Vixens have asked for a review on the non-call. They're asking for a forearm penalty on the Reservoir Dolls jammer in the previous jam.
All right. Thank you very much, Z-Dork. Z-Dork, our head ref for tonight's night's bout. Would like to take a moment here to read off some of the shout-outs. We have a shout-out here. Happy belated birthday to Hopscotch and the Heat.
Another shout-out. Welcome back, Lip Smacker. We welcome her back playing with the Reservoir Dolls tonight. To Violet Fire, I've got a shout-out. I'd like to get with you and your hamster. I think her name is Deborah.
Ooh.
That's interesting. Perhaps a private message you want read out. Head on over to our merchandise table. That's right where you walked in.
The no call on the black jammer will stand. Black jammer will field, or Reservoir Dolls will field a jammer in this jam. Thank you.
Thank you, Z-Dork. All right, well, with that, we're going to get lining back up for the action here. Got our skaters lining up on the Plan B jammer line. Got Dalek Doll jamming for the Vixens. And it looks like Blitz Siren is up for the Res Dolls.
Little jammer on jammer action there. Both Blitz Siren and Dalek knocking into each other as they try to fight their way through the pack. Blitz Siren finding a hole on the inside. She's through and she's your lead jammer.
And Dalek Doll is not far behind her. She did get a little bit up close and personal, a little rough there. Looks like it was the heat. But she did make it through. Both jammers are now working their way through the pack. Blitz Siren almost getting by. Now she's gone through. Picking up 4 points.
She picks up 4 points. The Reservoir Dolls still trying to hold Dalek Doll back. You'll see a lot of the blockers knocking that jammer to the outside or the inside and then reversing their direction of skating. They're trying to make that jammer go back and go behind them so she doesn't get caught with a cutting penalty.
Looks like Looks like a forearm penalty being called on the Heat. That leaves the Res Dolls with 2 blockers in the penalty box, giving them 2 on the track. See what Dalek Doll and the Vixens can do with that, with their superior pack strength right now.
Dalek Doll fighting against the 2 Reservoir Dolls on the pack. Meanwhile, Blitz Siren taking on the 4 Vaudeville Vixens that are trying to wall her up and keeping her held back. She just finds a hole on the outside. Both jammers through again for another 4 points each.
It's like I believe we have a back block on Busta Crimes, so
Lots of Reservoir Dolls coming to the track from the penalty box, going back to the penalty box. Meanwhile, Dalek Doll on the Vixen just sneaks by and inside for another 4 points. That jam is called off, and it looks like the Reservoir Dolls have increased their lead 105, to 45.
Yep, there is still plenty of time left in this bout. Only 10 minutes left in the half, but then there's a whole another 30 minutes remaining after that. So plenty of time for the Vaudeville Vixens to kind of, remuster, come back, and get those points back up on the board to take the lead.
And yeah, 50 points, 55 points, that's not a big score to get back. They can do it still in this amount of time. A lot of fight out there for both teams. We've got Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Shenanigans on the Reservoir Dolls. Kenna Vendetta out first. She's your lead jammer. She comes around the turn, calls the jam off. No points scored for either jammer.
That was a smart call on the Vixen's part, because the Res Dolls jammer was right on her tail, and it was going to be very difficult to keep her from scoring those points too, while the Vixen's still putting points up on the board.
That's right. Better to call that jam off and not get any points than have the other team get some points. A lot of times you'll see the jammer calling off the jam if the opposing jammer's right behind her or close to her, and their teammates are in the back of the pack. So that opposing jammer is more likely to get points.
Yep. Looks like back at the jam here, we have Knocking Jay taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls, with Berserk Lee jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's still working against the pack. Looks like dancing with Mouse right now.
Knocking Jay coming back up. Oh, there's a big pile up as everybody tries to get through the pack there, jumping over one another. Berserkly jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens taken down. And it looks like Knocking Jay held up in the front of the pack. Vixens doing their best to bridge and contain that Reservoir Doll jammer, Knocking Jay. KJ trying to get past Darling Nikki. Mouse comes up to help her. And the A-Mag taking KJ to the outside line, bringing her back, making her recycle to the back.
Yep, she almost made it. It's like in the meantime, there was a star pass to Darling Nikki on the Vaudeville Vixens, but the jam has been called off. So no points could be scored on that.
No points scored on that WORT Back Porch Radio star pass. We'd like to thank also for being here tonight, the Blaze Women's Football. Check them out. They've got a booth behind the bleachers where you first walked in. Madison Blaze Women's Football coming up on February 28th, next Saturday. You can bowl for the Blaze at Village Lanes in Monona. The games start at 1, 4, or 7. $20 gets you 3 games of 8-pin tap. You could also play euchre for $10 a player with games starting at 6. There will be prizes and raffles. Don't miss out. Support Madison Blaze Women's Football.
We do have a quick official timeout for some scoreboard and track repair. We'll be getting back to the action momentarily. In the meantime, do have a few more shout-outs here. A shout-out to Violet Fire. We in love in a hopeless place. Love, Team Reject.
Got another one here to Tipsy. Hit hard. XOXO Siren.
Got a shout out for Mr. Carlson, who is in Minocqua for this bout.
Sorry you can't be with us, Mr. Carlson, but hopefully you can come to the next bout. Speaking of the next bout, you can get tickets for the next bout, which is on March 21st. Same date, same day, same time, just next month. Get those tickets for just $10 tonight. And it looks like we're going to get back to the action after that Triple M 2-minute promise official timeout. We've got Hopscotch jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She's up against Nefarious jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. Hopscotch out first. She's your lead jammer.
I thought we were going to do one where they pick.
Looks like the Vixens have just gotten lead jammer 3 times this bout. The Res Dolls capitalizing on getting lead jammer. Hopscotch backing around, fighting against some of the blockers in the front. She gets out of the pack just as Nefarious enters, and she makes her way through, bumping up against some of the Res Doll blockers, but making her way through for 4 points as well. Packs are keeping fast. Looks like the Vixens skating up to the front of that pack, making Hopscotch call off the jam. 4 points for each team that jam. Keeps it even.
That indeed it does. Neat little tidbit of information I just received. Apparently, we are completely sold out tonight. So thank you all for coming here and supporting Mad Rollin' Dolls.
All right, let's hear it for Roller Derby. Let's hear it for the fans. Thanks for coming to support these teams. And with that, if you do have a chair that's kind of in the middle of everybody and you got an extra spot where anybody can sit, try to wave to those people you see might be in standing room only and fit them in somewhere. Might not be possible, but we can try. I see a few seats open and around here. And back to our action here.
Yeah, it looks like our jammer for the Res Dolls, Lip Smacker, has gone to the penalty box for a back block penalty. The Vixens jammer, Jocelyn Hell Burnell, then is in a power jam situation.
In a power jam, that opposing team can just all play defense. A normally simultaneous offense and defensive pack can just focus on one thing, where the Vixens are going to be focusing on offense, the Reservoir Dolls are going to be focusing on defense. And Jocelyn Hell Burnell passes the star. That's a WORT Back Porch Radio in Madison. Star pass to Darling Nikki.
Yep, Darling Nikki now trying her luck against the Res Dolls blockers. She gets through, picking up 5 points. That is a Mini of Madison grand slam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lip Smacker out of the penalty box, through the pack, but she is not lead jam. Darling Nikki back in the pack, up against some Reservoir Dolls. Couple Reservoir Dolls go down, but Darling Nikki stays up. Another 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Lip Smacker scoring 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls, getting through that pack right behind her.
Well, it looks like Res Dolls had all of their blockers out of the penalty box for a moment, but now Gluckness has been sent to serve a penalty. However, it looks like Dalek Doll is released from the penalty box, so now the Vixens have a full-strength pack.
And just as Dalek Doll and Mustang get released from the penalty box, it looks like Jocelyn Hell Burnell is going to be going back to the penalty box. Since she passed the star, even though she started as the jammer in the last pack, in the last jam, she'll go to the penalty box as a blocker. Darling Nikki was past that jammer star. So it looks like Harleyson is up on the line for the Vaudeville Vixens, up against Mouse for the Reservoir Dolls. Who dat on the line? Looks like it's Mouse, and she is lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. Makes her way through that pack just so quick you can't even see how. Harleyson up against Jean Lane being brought back.
Yep, she did get a clear lane on the inside.
Makes her way just as Mouse comes squeaking through that pack again, scoring 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls. That's a Minia Madison Grand Slam.
Yep. Oh, looks like Mouse being sent to the penalty box. I believe that was a forearm penalty. That gives another power jam for the Vaudeville Vixens and Harley Sin. However, Harley Sin is knocked out of bounds on the inside by Shenanigans, recycled to the back of the pack.
Now the Vixens trying to play a little bit of offense for Harley Sin. Meanwhile, KJ, Glockness, and Shenanigans of the Reservoir Dolls keeping Harley Sin back, trying to play defense and keep her from getting through the pack and getting a grand slam. When that jammer's in the penalty box, once the opposing blocker gets through, she gets those points.
Mouse has been released from the penalty box and just quick as you please, coming around the inside of the pack, jumping around the track, pulling another 5-point grand slam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like Mighty Mouse on the track there, just whipping around. Mouse getting through the pack there, but knocking some of the Vaudeville Vixens to the ground. She is called out. She'll be going back to the penalty box, the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box for a low block, but not before she scores 2 Minia Madison Grand Slams, bringing the Reservoir Dolls up to 137 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 65.
All right, looks like we are going to dive into another official review.
While we take this Triple M 2-minute promise timeout, official timeout, I'd like to thank some of our sponsors tonight. Our sponsors, without them, we can't do what we do, just as we can't do it without all of you wonderful fans out there. So thank you, fans, for coming. Please support our sponsors. Hinckley Design and Production, always at turn 1 and 4. Hinckley Productions, proudly filming Mad Rollin Dolls Roller Derby since 2008. They film all our bouts, edit our commercials, and provide live video streaming for major tournaments. Consider Hinckley Productions for your next video project. Hinckley Productions.com.
Okay, all right, we'll do.
Also, the Monkey Bar Gym, where Derby girls work out to be strong enough for Derby. At Monkey Bar Gym Madison, they understand high-level athletic performance and physical limitations. 1876 East Washington Ave in Madison.
The Reservoir Dolls have asked for a review on the low blocking call made on Mouse in the previous jam.
We do have a quick little announcement as we come up on our halftime. We do have a winner for our first drawing. So please take out your tickets, get ready to take this number down, and head on down to the merch table to claim your prize. The number is 797340. That number again is 797340. Please come on down to the merch table at halftime, claim your prize. Do have another quick shout out here for Violet Fire. Happy birthday. Just kidding, not kidding.
All right, we got some strange shout outs. Get yours in at the merchandise table. You can get your name and number on any piece of apparel that you'd like at the merchandise table as well. We've got a shout out to the announcer who stole our hearts. Love with a Bang, Sassbot. You? Me? I'm not sure. I think it's both of us.
It's clearly both. I mean, who could pick between us?
I understand. It's hard. We got another shout out to the Vixens. Thanks for being fun and sassy, bout mates. And a happy belated Valentine's Day and 48th wedding anniversary to Mama and Papa Mouse.
The black jammer in the previous jam will still be assessed the low block. No change. Thank you.
So it looks like Mouse will be staying in the penalty box, but happy belated Valentine's Day and 48th wedding anniversary to Mama and Papa Mouse. Thank you for all your love and support, and congrats on a lifetime of love together. Love, Mouse.
Getting back to the action here.
I'm sure Mouse's parents, above all, know she can probably be a little naughty sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But that's what happens in roller derby. You get knocked down, you get up again, and sometimes you get sent to the penalty box.
Yep, and once she is released from the penalty box, Mouse will be jamming against Berserk Lee for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Berserk Lee trying to get past a wall of Reservoir dolls right now. She makes her way up and is through. She's your lead jammer, Berserk Lee, for the Vaudeville Vixens. Knocking Jay for the Reservoir dolls, going to the penalty box. She'll be going for a forearm penalty, and Berserk Lee chased out of the pack by Charlie Hustle. She calls off the jam, but she gets 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, bringing their score to 72 points against the Reservoir dolls, 138. Who's here cheering for the Vaudeville Vixens, folks? Let's hear those Vixen fans. All right, and who out there is cheering for the Reservoir dolls? Thank you all for cheering for your favorite fans. We'll keep cheering them on here as it looks like Blitz Siren.
Yep, Blitz Siren jamming for the Reservoir dolls, and Shantastic McAwesome is up for the Vixens.
Blitz Siren out of the pack first. She's your lead jammer.
Looks like Shantastic McAwesome, though, sneaking around on the inside.
She finds a hole and gets through. Blitz Siren at the pack, trying to fight against a wall of pink and brown. Shantastic McAwesome coming around the outside of that wall. Looking at a wall of black and white for the Reservoir dolls, but she gets through there. She's through the pack.
Yeah, some very nice support by A Magnitude there.
Nice offense played by her teammates, getting her 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Blitz Siren making it through for 4 points.
Yep, Blitz Siren, though, going to call off that jam as she sees Shantastic McAwesome coming around, getting ready to score a few more points. That does bring our score after that jam to Reservoir dolls 142, Vaudeville Vixens 76. And that actually brings us to the halftime. So I believe that is going to be our official score for the half.
All right. And folks, before the half,
Stop on by to Anala Salon and Spa. Just a quick little extra information about that Reach a Child 50-50 raffle. Currently, the take-home for that is at $150. So it's entirely possible that we could get up to a $200 payout for the winner on that. Please go support our sponsor. Buy those raffle tickets. But here we are, back into the action. We have Reservoir dolls taking lead jam with Mouse jamming for them. Dalek Doll lead jammer is the lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. However, she is still back in the pack, looking like she's wrestling with, not quite sure who that was.
Jean Lane,
full frontal
likely.
Junity, at least.
We got Jean Lane knocking Jay, and full frontal Junity just joined now by Charlie Hustle out there for the Reservoir dolls. Darling Nikki, Jocelyn Helbernell, Hoppy Go Lucky, and Mustang blocking for the Vixens. And that jam is called with no points for the Vixens, and I think Mouse with 4 points. Anyway, the score is now up to 147 Reservoir dolls, 76 for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lining up on the Plan B jammer line, we have Wipeout Scout jamming for the Reservoir dolls and Harley Sin up for the Vaudeville Vixens. The whistle is blown. Action has begun. Scout is in the midst of the pack, battling up against Tipsy Velvet. She does sneak out around the outside, taking lead jam for her team.
Wipeout Scout spread those Vixens out, trying to establish still their proximity to the pack. Meanwhile, the pack of blockers on the Reservoir Dolls holding Harley Sin back. Hopscotch heading to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box for the Reservoir Dolls. And it looks like the Vixens have knocked the Jammer Wipeout Scout to the outside, made her recycle back to the back of the pack.
Looks like Busta Crimes has gone to the penalty box again. That is her 6th penalty of the night. One more, and she will foul out of tonight's game.
The Heat and Sassbach, the only 2 blockers on the track for the Reservoir Dolls right there, until joined by Hopscotch. And it looks like that jam ends with the Vaudeville Vixens at 81, the Reservoir Dolls at 152 points.
It looks like the Vaudeville Vixens are going to need to really start pulling it together here, put some extra points on the board. You know what I think would help that? They got a little cheer from their fans here. If we could get the cheer from the Vaudeville Vixen fans.
And we've got Darling Nikki on the line, jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's going up against Glockness for the Reservoir Dolls. Both jammers knocked around. Looks like Darling Nikki is the lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Looks like Smart Ash is going to the penalty box for the Vixens. She's taking a trip for a low block penalty.
Darling Nikki, the Vaudeville Vixens jammer, meanwhile, takes on the pack of Res Dolls and tiptoes around the outside, getting 4 points for the Vixens. Glockness working her way through the pack. She gets out of the pack, but Nikki comes back through the pack as well and passes her. Both jammers approaching that pack around the same time. Darling Nikki gets through, calls it off. 89 points for the Vixens. Reservoir Dolls at 156. How about another sponsorship shout out? Let's thank a couple of our sponsors. Specifically, Pabst Blue Ribbon, PBR, the official beer of roller derby in Madison. PB Army, ASAP. Plan B. Not only is Plan B sponsor our jammer line, Plan B is Madison's favorite gay bar and dance club. Be out, be proud, just be. Lining up on that Plan B jammer line, we've got Kenna Vendetta, number 9 of the Vaudeville Vixens, up against number 4, Mouse of the Reservoir Dolls.
Mouse skating right up to that outside line, just hopping around it, staying inside, picking up that lead jam.
Charlie Hustle taking Kenna Vendetta to the outside, also being called on a forearm penalty. She'll be going to the penalty box. Kenna Vendetta not lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens, but she is out and skating around the track, but Mouse calls it off after getting through the pack and scoring 4 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
By the front? Okay.
Reservoir Dolls at 160 points, Vaudeville Vixens at 93.
I do have a quick message here for Jordan. Jordan, please meet Urge up by the front. Jordan, please meet Urge up by the front. I assume the appropriate Jordan will know what that means and know that it is for them.
25 Jordans head to the front. And now back, we've got Jesslyn Helbernell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's the lead jammer, getting up and through that pack first and fast.
Yep, she is jamming against Shenanigans for the Res Dolls. Looks like Shenanigans was just barely knocked out of bounds there by what looks like a Smart Ash. She is put back to the back of the pack. Now working up against that Vaudeville Vixen pink wall.
Vaudeville Vixens knocking Shenanigans to the outside with what looked like just a shoulder hit. She's through the pack now. And it looks like the Vaudeville Vixen jammer Jocelyn Helbernell was sent to the penalty box for a forearm penalty. So now Shenanigans has a power jam.
Oh.
That's it. I just had a mind blank there for a minute.
I believe that would be a Mini of Madison Power Jam.
Minia Madison Grand Slam if she makes it through and gets all 4 points plus the jammer point. I'm not sure if she did, folks. Now Jocelyn Helbernell for the Vixens back on the track jamming. She's knocked down along with Hopscotch there and the Heat all trying to get a piece of her. Shenanigans did make it through and got a Minia Madison Grand Slam for the Reservoir Dolls. Jocelyn Helbernell makes it through.
Looks like
grabbing
she also,
a Minia Madison Grand Slam as well.
Oh, Grand Slams left and right.
A Magnitude holding up Shenanigans for a little bit there, but sent to the penalty box along with Smart Ash. That'll leave the Vixens down 2 blockers on the track, 2 in the penalty box. And it looks like Jocelyn Helbernell sent to the penalty box as well for a cutting penalty. She'll be joining her teammates there in the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box.
Like to. All right, so we have another winner. So for your entry ticket here. So if you could take out your entry ticket, take a look at the number. The winning number here is 1077. That is 1077. You can pick up your prize up in the merch table at front. But back to the action.
We've got Blitz Siren jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Jocelyn Helbernell in the box for the Vaudeville Vixens at the start of this jam, leaving Blitz Siren to have a power jam. Looks like she got tripped up a little bit there, fell, but got right back up. She is the lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls, and that pass through just got her a Minia Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like Glock Ness heading to the penalty box for the Reservoir Dolls. Followed by Smart Ash for the Vixens.
Once those blockers come out of the penalty box, they do have to enter the jam behind all of the pack of skaters. So a couple of Vixens joining and Blitz Siren calling off the jam. Reservoir Dolls in the lead, 181 points to the Vaudeville Vixens, 102 points. Let's hear it for both teams.
Got a quick shout out for one of our sponsors here. I'd like to shout out to Anthology, a shop in downtown Madison featuring over 100 local and indie artists. We dig crafty chicks.
And as the bout gets started here, I'd like to do an audience shout out. Happy birthday to Jan Fecht, Conan's hockey wife. She's a Quad Squad super fan and here tonight, and the best, raddest hockey teammate. Love, Conan. We got a lot of action happening on the track. Charlie Hustle jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Dalek Doll, who was sent to the penalty box.
It looked like Mouse working her way a lot through the pack there, kind of getting to where she felt like she needed to be to do the best for her team there. Very well done.
And Dalek Doll comes back onto the track from the penalty box. She is knocked to the outside a little bit by Charlie Hustle. Charlie comes up through the pack, and it looks like a star pass, a WORT star pass, goes to Mouse on the Reservoir Dolls. Charlie making her way to knock Dalek Doll again to the outside and bring her back while her jammer Mouse scores a Minia Madison Grand Slam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Oh, let's see if she can do it again as she comes up to the pack here. She does. Hops around the inside, picking up another Minia Madison Grand Slam.
Vaudeville Vixens trying to work together and keep Mouse and the other Reservoir Doll jammers from scoring any more points. They need to slow down their scoring and increase the Vaudeville Vixens' points on the board. Happy Go Lucky putting on the Jammer Star after she gets a WORT Star Pass from Dalek Doll of the Vixens.
Yep.
Trying to get past that wall of black and white. And the jam ends. The Reservoir Dolls hitting 200 points. Vaudeville Vixens 102. Still over 15 minutes left in the game. This is still anybody's game. So those Vaudeville Vixens just need to get scoring some more points.
Yep,
Keep the Reservoir Dolls from scoring.
All right, looks like a timeout has been called by the Vixens. A good time to talk strategy, figure out how they're going to attack this this score deficit here. But in the meantime, we'll get some more shout outs going on here. We have 232. My constant companion and ski buddy, your free forest.
All right. Another shout out cheering for our favorite skater from a distance. Go AMAG.
Got a quick shout out for one of our sponsors, Cool Entertainment. This evening's outstanding music is provided by Tony with Cool Entertainment. If you ever want a DJ, lighting, or a badass mixtape, just search Cool Entertainment. That's KUHL Entertainment.com.
And it looks like that timeout ends. We're going to have folks line back up on the Plan B jammer line. We've got number 9, Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. Looks like she'll start out with a power jam. Mouse, jammer for the Reservoir Dolls, and the last jam was sent to the penalty box. She'll start this jam in the penalty box, and Kenna Vendetta slips through. She's your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, that is exactly the sort of situation that the Vaudeville Vixens need right now.
That's
Mouse
right.
is back in the game, back working her way through the pack, has made it through, and is going to start making her scoring pass.
Kenna Vendetta threw on her first scoring pass for the Vixens. She gets a 5-point Minia Madison Grand Slam and raises the Vaudeville Vixens score to 107 up against the Reservoir Dolls at 200. Just what the Vaudeville Vixens need now is to slowly eat away at that score, getting lead jam, and then keeping their Reservoir Dolls from scoring anything.
Yep. Got to get that jam, make those points, and quit it.
Another shout out goes to our Feed the Dolls sponsor. Tonight, Ian's Pizza is our Feed the Dolls sponsor. 2 downtown locations offering carry out and delivery.
Back to the action, we have Dalek Doll jamming for the Vixens. We also have Blitz Siren jamming for the Res Dolls. Looks like she is taking lead jam. Working on making her scoring pass now.
Dalek Doll for the Vixens being knocked to the inside and brought back around to the back of the pack. She's up against a wall of Glock Nest shenanigans, lip smacker, and oh, I'm sorry. It looks like Call It a Wild is the last one there. Blitz Siren making her way through the pack of Vixens. Out there we've got Darling Nikki, Smart Ash, Jocelyn Helbernell, and Mustang. And Dalek gets through the pack, but she is not the lead jammer. We have the Reservoir Dolls jammer, Blitz Siren, being sent to the penalty box. Ooh, and y'all heard and saw that one. Dalek Doll knocked to the inside.
It looks like she was recycled back by Glock Ness. She is going to work on trying to get back through that pack, though. And it looks like she has been knocked out of bounds by Glock Ness again. However, there has been a star pass. The star has been passed on to number 14 for the Vixens. That's Darling Nikki.
Darling Nikki making her way up against that wall of Reservoir Dolls, trying to fight. Meanwhile, the Vaudeville Vixens keep their wall tight in the back as Blitz Siren re-enters from the penalty box. Darling Nikki getting 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. They're bringing their score up to 112. Blitz Siren a couple points for the Reservoir Dolls. They move up to 212. 100 points between these teams may seem like a lot in football, but in roller derby, it can mean the difference of a couple power jams. So up on the Plan B jammer line for the Vixens, we've got Chapter 51, Harley Sin.
And it looks like Jean Lane is up jamming for the Res Dolls.
Jean Lane primarily a blocker. She's going to make her way through the pack to jam against Harley Sin. Charlie Hustle being sent to the penalty box. Harley Sin is the Vaudeville Vixens, the lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. She makes her way through the pack and gets 4 points on her first scoring pass. Jean Lane knocked down by Tipsy Velvet, and Jean Dusnark knocked out and down and back and around. Meanwhile, Mouse getting sent to the penalty box for the Reservoir Dolls. Mouse blocking. Ooh, a little bit of tripping action there going on as people try to get in and out and around this track. That jam ends with Harley Sin scoring another 3 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, bringing them up to 119 points. Reservoir Dolls at 216.
Would like to quick reminder to the audience right now, the trackside seating and the first row seating just around the track is reserved for ages 18 and up only. It is a safety concern. We do see, especially with the track being a little slicker on concrete, skaters can slide into the fan zone here. So please, only people 18 and up on the trackside seating.
And we just saw Jocelyn Hell-Burnell there getting taken to the outside, so be careful around the trackside there. Make sure you're older and wiser and sitting right up there in the front to get those Mad Rollin' Dolls knocked into your lap. We've got the Heat out there jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She's the lead jammer here. Jocelyn Hell-Burnell being recycled to the back of the pack by the Reservoir Dolls.
And it does look like Whiskey and Choke has gotten out of the penalty box for the Vixens, so both teams are at full strength.
The Heat gets through for a Minnie Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls. Jocelyn Hell-Burnell out of the pack, not your lead jammer, but she'll be making her way around the track in the hopes of scoring some points. The Heat calls it off.
Yeah, it looks like she wasn't quite able to get through there, and as Jocelyn Hell-Burnell started making her way through, wanted to make sure to call off that jam to prevent her making any more points.
Jocelyn picks up 1 for the Vixens, 125. The Reservoir Dolls at 222.
All right, looks like lining up here on the Plan B jammer line, we have Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vixens and Call It a Wild jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Call It a Wild has pulled out in front and has taken lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. And it looks like Kenna Vendetta has picked up a track cut penalty and is going to be going and spending 30 seconds in the box. That does mean this is a power jam for Call It a Wild and the Reservoir Dolls. See what they can make happen with this and what the Vixens defense can do to prevent for any further damage from being done. Looks like the pack is picking up speed. Vixen's trying to make sure Call It a Wild has to take as long as she can to have to come around and make a pass to start scoring points through the pack. And she is going to call off the jam.
All right, folks, I have a quick announcement in the audience. Allison Wong is here, and she's looking for her mom. She might not have told you where she was going, but we've got her right up here by the flag if you want to make your way over. Allison's looking for you, so please come on over and help her out. Thank you. And meanwhile, we've also got some other shout-outs here for you.
Yep. Good time to read some. We are in the midst of an official timeout at the moment.
All right, well, that Triple M 2-minute official promise timeout takes place. We've got a shout-out to Who Dat? Hoo-ha! Who Dat? Hoo-ha! Sounds like a cheer. I think some people want to get started.
All
Got a little bit of mascot action going on there, too. Looks like the Reservoir Dolls and the Vaudeville Vixens mascots not getting along.
So that that Triple M 2-minute promise official timeout is for a scoreboard adjustment. So once we have that worked out, we'll let you know what's changed, and we'll get you back to the action very shortly. In the meantime, do want to have another shout out here. Say happy birthday, Pimpin'. Love, Mom and Dad. Got another one here. Thanks for being you, Hoppy Go Lucky. Oh.
Oh.
That warms my heart.
It
That warms
does.
my heart, Dolly.
Warms my heart, too. And while we get ready for this jam to get started, I'd like to give a couple special shout-outs to some folks we've got here as part of a group. We've got the women of the Moose and their families. Let's hear it. Women of the Moose. I see them over there cheering for your favorite roller derby skaters. On the track, we've got Charlie Hustle jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Dalek Doll for the Vaudeville Vixens. Dalek Doll still trying to fight her way past the Reservoir Dolls blockers. Charlie getting the lead. Oh, it looks like lead jam has gone to Dalek Doll of the Vaudeville Vixens. Pardon me. Charlie Hustle got through first, but was not declared lead jam.
And in the midst of all of that, looks like Mouse was called out on, I believe it was a forearm penalty. So she's in the midst of her time in the box, will be released soon. But it looks like Charlie Hustle has made her pass, getting a Mini of Madison Grand Slam for the Reservoir Dolls. But the jam has been called. That brings our score to Reservoir Dolls 240, Vaudeville Vixens 129, with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the bout.
Let's hear it for your teams here. Let's hear it for the Vaudeville Vixens. Vixens! Let me hear you, fans. We got a lot of Vixen fans over here. How about for the Reservoir Dolls? Let me hear you say bang, bang. Oh, and just as Scout and Shantastic McAwesome get up there on the Plan B jammer line, we've got an official timeout.
Now we'll take that opportunity to give some shout-outs to our awesome sponsors. Sponsors like Badger Bowl. Next time you're out, stop off at Badger Bowl, your hometown entertainment destination. Badger Bowl offers live bands, bowling, a full-service bar, restaurant, and catering, so there's something for everyone at Badger Bowl.
Other sponsors like Anala Salon and Spa, locations at Hilldale and on Atwood Avenue. Derby-owned shop, and you might just get your hair cut by the Unholy's own Blanche Devereaux. And now we're back to the action on the track. Jamming for the Vixens, we've got Shantastic McAwesome up against Wipeout Scout for the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like Scout is going to break through the pack first, taking lead jam for the Res Dolls. Sasspot getting called out on a penalty. Going to spend 30 seconds in the box.
And Shantastic McAwesome up in the front of the pack against Glockness and Mouse and the Heat. All trying to keep her back. While Wipeout Scout gets around on her scoring pass, getting a Mini of Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Oh, Shantastic McAwesome almost made it through the pack there, but then she was knocked out of bounds and recycled to the back of the pack by Mouse.
Such a frustrating thing when you're a jammer, getting knocked out of bounds and that blocker or other blockers that were in front of you going backwards. You've got to go all the way back and get around.
Yeah.
But a great strategy that teams are using in order to slow that pack down, keep that jammer behind from scoring points. And we got Shantastic McAwesome getting through the pack there for 4 points for the Vixens, just as the jam is called off. Wipeout Scout bringing the Reservoir Dolls score to 250 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 138.
Would like to read off another shout out here to A-Mag and Girl Friday. Skate strong. We are sorry we can't be here to see you rock. Judith, Jennifer, and Scargo. As a reminder, please go on if you want to buy one of these shout outs, have us read something out, go up to the merch table, spend $1. Also spend $1 on the raffle for our Reach a Child Bout charity today.
And let's hear it for Darling Nikki. She's out as jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's the lead jammer this jam. Skating also with Lip Smacker, jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Lip Smacker back in action with the Reservoir Dolls this season. Darling Nikki back on the track with the Vaudeville Vixens this season.
It looks like both Berserk Lee and Hoppy Go Lucky have gone to the penalty box for the Vixens.
And Charlie Hustle gone to the penalty box for the Reservoir Dolls. So both jammers have a bit of an advantage there, up against 2 or only 3 blockers rather than the typical 4. Darling Nikki getting past the Reservoir Doll blockers. She calls off the jam.
That looks like she picked up herself 4 points on that pass. That brings our score at 5 minutes left, with the Reservoir Dolls at 255 and the Vaudeville Vixens at 137.
Another shout out to Violet Fire. You're getting a bunch tonight, Violet, from Team Reject. You complete us. XOXOXO, heart, heart, heart. All right. A shout out to A Magnitude 10 is a force to be reckoned with. Go A-Mag. A-Mag not on the track with the Vixens now, but Jean Du Snark, Hoppy Go Lucky, Berserkly, and Ken Vendetta out there with nefarious jamming. Only Ken Vendetta and Jean Du Snark out there trying to keep Mouse from getting through and getting lead jam. Mouse jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She is through, and with a Minia Madison Grand Slam, I think maybe even 2 for the Reservoir Dolls.
I believe she may have just picked up another one. No, only 4 points on that last pass.
4 points on the last pass, but she did get through, got lead, and got a Grand Slam before that, too.
Yeah, that was a
few points for the Vixens as well.
Quick and brutal jam. See, we got lining up on the Plan B jammer line. We have Dalek Doll jamming for the Vixens, and Hopscotch is up for the Res Dolls. All right, action begins. Both jammers working their way through the pack, but Hopscotch breaking through at the front to take lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. Looks like Dalek Doll just knocked out, recycled to the back, but she is going to sneak back around the inside.
With a little bit of help from Darling Nikki, she gets through the pack. Hopscotch jamming for the Reservoir Doll through the pack now on her scoring pass.
Looks like Shenanigans has been sent to the penalty box.
And Dalek Doll getting through the pack. Just on one skate there on the inside line. She gets through for 4 points for the Vixens. Hopscotch making her way back through again and calling off the jam after she scores 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
That does bring our score to Reservoir Dolls 272, Vaudeville Vixens 141. And I do have another quick announcement about our charity raffle. The split now is up to $200. So if you win that charity raffle, then Reach a Child is getting $200 and you are getting $200. And every raffle ticket that is bought raises that by another 50 cents for each pot. So please, please go get yourself a ticket, get yourself a chance, and support Reach a Child. Getting back to the action here, we have Blitz Siren jamming for the Reservoir Dolls and Harley Sin up for the Vixens. Looks like Blitz Siren working out and trying to get to the front of the pack there, but fighting against Shantastic McAwesome and Lemon Dropkick.
Vaudeville Vixens stretching that pack out to try and keep Blitz Siren back. She is, though, however, your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. Tipsy Velvet heading to the box for the Vaudeville Vixens, along with Lemon Dropkick. Both go into that Monkey Bar Gym penalty box.
That does put 3 of the Vixens blockers in the penalty box. Oh, it looks like Tipsy Velvet may have overshot the penalty box and is going to have to skate around the outside again to go and have a seat. If you go past that yellow line, you need to take a lap.
It's the line of no return, yeah. Once you go past it, you got to go all the way around. Too many people in the penalty box, you might have to just go back on the track.
And looking at the track, I am seeing a lot of black and white out there and not a lot of brown and pink. Although the Vixen skaters are starting to come out of the penalty box. Looks like Blitz Siren going up against Shantastic McAwesome. She does end up getting too far from the pack, so Shantastic has to turn back, getting a grand slam for Blitz Siren.
Bringing the Res Dolls score to 292. Blitz Siren sneaking by on the outside. A little hop, skip, and a jump gets her through for another Minia Madison grand slam and 5 more points.
Harley Sin is back working against the pack.
And Blitz Siren coming through as the Vaudeville Vixens try to pull off a little star pass there. Blitz Siren gets another 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls, bringing their score to 302. Vaudeville Vixens 141. Both teams working hard out there.
Yeah,
We've got a shout out here to Penny and Molly. I love you so very much every day. Chris. I think I hear Penny and Molly or Chris over there. Somebody who loves roller derby.
Our jam has begun. And if you'll notice, the period clock has expired. However, we will be playing by the jam clock. So we'll either be playing until the jam clock runs out or until the jam is called. Speaking of calling jams.
Knocking Jay getting lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. So she gets the power to also end this jam if she decides to call it off. For the Vaudeville Vixens, we've got Shantastic McAwesome wearing the star, just coming in from the penalty box. Making her way up against blockers on the Reservoir Doll. Jean Lane, Mouse, Charlie Hustle, and Full Frontal Judity. Actually, Mouse heading to the penalty box to join Charlie Hustle.
Jean Lane knocking Shantastic out of bounds again.
And it looks like Knocking Jay just sweeps on through and inside through that pack for a 5-point Minia Madison grand slam for the Reservoir Dolls. Knocking Jay knocked to the outside. She calls that jam off. And that's the unofficial final of the bout here. Vixen's getting another few points, bringing the Reservoir Dolls score to 314. Vaudeville Vixens 144. The officials will verify that that is the final score while the teams line up for a good game line. And the fans get up to show the teams their support too. Thank you to our sponsors. Plan B with the Jammer Line sponsor tonight. Monkey Bar Gym with the penalty box sponsorship. Triple M 2-minute promise timeout for official timeouts. And the WORT Star Pass. Also the Minia Madison Grand Slam we saw a lot in this first bout. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all the skaters, Res Doll fans, Vaudeville Vixen fans.
Yeah, and for those of you who want a little bit more of both of these teams, they will be both heading over to the fan zone for pictures and autographs.
So head on over to the fan zone. Talk to the Vixens. Talk to the Reservoir Dolls. Congratulate or high-five that team for a game well played. Nice bout, ladies.
And while you're over there, you could check out some of our awesome Mad Rollin Dolls merchandise. We have stuff for all of our teams over there, as well as the opportunity to pay $1 to purchase a shout-out or to head over just a few yards over to the Reach a Child booth. Still an opportunity to pay $1 to get on that 50-50 raffle. We will be drawing a winner for that during the halftime of the second bout. So you have about 30 minutes left to get over there and get your raffle tickets in.
Get your raffle tickets, win some big money. Support a great cause. And during this halftime,